Hi everybody, Steve Okino here, North Central Pennsylvania with history in the hand. That's what we're trying to do today. See if we can find a little history to hold in our hand. Today I'm walking up this old road that's behind me, and I noticed there was a homestead on the map in 1863 that I did not see there any other times. Now I looked at some aerial photographs of the area, and a Mrs. Anderson apparently lived here in the 1800s, but then I didn't see anything on the maps after that. Little investigation, look what showed up. I would say that this is the foundation of the Anderson home. So I wouldn't be surprised if some other detectors have been around, but we're going to give it a once-over. I'm here with my digging dog, Mac, and we've got a nice day. Well, pretty nice. It's in the 40s at the end of March, so come on along. Let's see what we can find. So Mac and I are set up, got the simplex, and just show you a little bit about this foundation. Looks like there may have been a window here, a window there, and then that is what I would imagine were some steps going in. But this is clearly one of the nicest foundations I've ever seen. Now that right there is evidence that somebody else has been here, so I'll bet we won't have many high tones. Anyhow, pretty interesting. Let's get digging. All right, got our first target, and it looks like an old razor or knife of some type. I can't really get it apart. Let's scrape it off here and see what we've got. Looks like the blade might actually be gone or have broken. All that's left is the spring from the bottom and the brass plate along there. But that's pretty nifty. That a little fancy. Very cool. All right, let's put that on the good side of the pouch here and keep on digging. See you at the next one. Well, somebody had a 22 mag, so that means every signal that shows up at 55 or so for me, it could be one of these. Could be something else more interesting. But that's the third one I've found. But that's the way it is. Unbelievable how many bullet shells have hit the ground here in the last 150 years. All right, we have a tone, and it kicked out. All right. Hey, hey, hey! I see what looks to be a coin. And I'm guessing Indian head penny. That looks like 1 cent. There's the headdress. There's the headdress. All right, let me shut this off, and we'll see if we can get a close-up of this. Well, that is beautiful. Just came up with a... Oh, Mac the digger dog is here. Help me dig up this bullet. Boy, whatever it hit hard. But yep, one more item for the collection. Well, my dog actually found what I believe to be the well. And it makes sense because you can see it's kind of caved in, but you can see the remains of laid up stone, and there is the foundation right over there. So this would have made sense to have source of water this close. Mackie found it and drank out of it. Smart dog. Well, got ourselves a broken horseshoe. They didn't get flat tires back then, but they definitely had wear items on their transportation. So there's the groove where the tacks would go up into the horse's foot, and so that's been there quite a few years. Very, very nice. A piece of history. Love it. Well, we've got a double item. As usual, a 22 mag shell, and not modern, really. But here's evidence of a clock. And after a while, I found a lot of clock parts in my short career metal detecting. It hasn't even been a year yet, but I'm guessing that was part of a clock that could not be repaired. So it found its way out into the yard. Very, very interesting. A piece of history. I don't know how many times people looked at that clock to see what time it was, but we're holding it right in our hand, right here. That's really neat. On to the next. Right. Here is a two-piece button off of a jacket, I would say. No, that's got an eagle. It's got an eagle on it. Interesting. I don't know my buttons, so I don't know if this is military or just decorative. But oh, that's pretty neat. It looks like a 2. I'll have to do a little bit of research on that. But oh, it's wonderful. I wonder what the story is. Wonder what the story is on this. Of course, isn't that the question we always ask? Wonder what the story is. It looks like there is a little bit of writing on the back. Ah, that's pretty. Hard to know. Well, let's get back, keep on digging. All right. Look what we have here. That is a pretty old ring. Certainly not gold. Certainly not silver. Might have just been brass, but I'd say these folks, from the size of their house, weren't really wealthy. And I'd say somebody lost their ring one day in this field between that barn and that house. History in the hand. History in the hand. Stop. Okay. So I know this, but I'm going to remind everybody, check your holes. Did another swing. Got a 92 signal, and we have got ourselves a silver quarter. And you know what? I don't have any. Looks like a standing liberty to me. Let's go down by the creek and we'll wash this off, see what we've got, see if we can find a date. There's still a little bit of runoff here. United States of America. What do you think, Mackie? You want to get a drink? You want to get a drink? No, I don't think we're gonna get a date off of that. Just can't quite tell. Maybe 1917, possibly. Can't really tell. Somebody dropped a quarter. All right. You know, there's a little bit of evidence of history here. I see myrtle in the leaves here, and there are some daffodils, and I can only guess the foundation is right there. I can only guess, but I would imagine that there was some kind of little garden out here in front of the house of Mrs. Anderson. Looks like somebody might have been here and actually taken some of those, because it looks like they took the whole plug. Interesting. All right, we'll keep looking. Got an interesting signal, and found a spoon bowl. A little damage from my shovel. I must have been a little heavy-handed, but there's an old pewter spoon bowl. The handle could be close by if kids were out here playing with it, but usually they broke off from being bent back into place. And ooh, wait a minute, this might have been the Sunday best. Ooh, this was fancy. Wow. All right, a little more history for the hand right there. Got an interesting signal that that upon first glance looks like it may actually be part of a gun. I think that was a little derringer. Oh my gosh. Now that is a cool piece of history. Almost positive. I'll have to do a little bit of research on this, but I will bet anything that the barrel came out there. I'll bet that was possibly a trigger assembly. Wow, that is nifty. You never know what you're going to find. Could be a little percussion cap. Used to get put right there, and the hammer would come down and hit that. And the handle would be down here. I'll look around, I'll see if I can find it. But that's really interesting. It's had a little bit of a rough go by the looks of it, but We were looking for history, and we're finding it. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. Love this. Forrest Gump's mama was right. You never know what you're gonna get. Oh, how cool is that? Well, that is very interesting. Pulled 2 nails out of this hole, and obviously a coin. And wasn't that interesting? It was stuck right to, it was stuck to the pinpointer. You know what? That actually looks like a wheat penny. Yeah, it is a wheat penny. So that's a lot more modern. Although these buildings were here into the, I saw an aerial photograph of this area from 1938. This building was not here, but there is a barn foundation over there, and the barn was the barn was still standing in 38. So pretty interesting, but just a weedy. Pretty beat up. I'm seeing 1940 something. So who knows? But another one for the, we'll put that right next to the Indian. Oh, by the way, that Indian wound up being 1864. So it was older than I thought. That was the year the Emancipation Proclamation was made by Abraham Lincoln. So pretty cool date to find. That's history. All right, let's get going. Found a little tiny button here. Looks like it had 2 holes. It was pretty delicate, but that's interesting. And we can, brass or copper, doesn't stick to my magnet. So curious little find. Very delicate, kind of nice, but nothing super fancy, although this was a farmstead, so I wouldn't expect it to be fancy. All right, let's keep digging. Holding a little history in the hand right here. All right, we've got things spread out here. Let's see what we found. We'll start over here with agricultural stuff. We got one big old workhorse shoe, another busted horseshoe, and that is almost assuredly a cutter off of a sickle bar mower. Then we've got 3 fired bullets, well, 2 pieces of buckshot and that big bullet. Bunch of 12 gauge brass, that's actually a bullet. Some 22 mags, a 22 short. We have mystery slotted object, which I don't know what it is. And this very interesting little, I think this is part of a derringer body. I'll have to see if I can do some research. Found a straight razor with the blade gone, and a fancy pewter spoon, a clock part, 2 buttons, and our little brass ring or wedding band maybe. Found a leaf penny, or wheat penny I guess, and we found Indian head penny, 1864, and maybe a 1917 standing Liberty, but not really sure. But it was worth 25 cents in its day. So anyhow, it's starting to rain a little bit, and I think it's a good time for us to leave. So from Diggin' Dog Mac and myself, we remind you, if you're not looking for it, you ain't gonna find it. Keep digging.